And good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today is Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. My name is Kirk Eller. I am a CalTAP training coordinator here in the California Department of Veteran Affairs Veteran Services Division, and we want to welcome you for this webinar. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a really good webinar on apprenticeship programs. We have a little bit of housekeeping to start off. If you're not familiar with the Zoom program and platform, at the bottom of your toolbar, there is a chat function as well as a Q&A function. If you would open both of those up, we're allowing you to ask any questions in the Q&A tab only. My colleague, Derek Rose, will be posting some resources and information in the chat feature. And so your questions don't get lost in that function. We would like you to use the Q&A if you have any questions. Just type in the box and subject matter expert related to your question will get back with you. We will be opening up the Q&A at the end of the presentation to answer any of those questions that weren't addressed during the webinar. You may want to hold off on asking any question because the webinar presentation may answer them for you. So we do ask that you be specific and generic in your questions and not personal nature, no personal information added in the Q&A. With that being said, we're going to go forward. My colleague Derek is manning the Q&A. Me personally, I will be going through a quick overview of the CalTAP program, as well as the general overview of your California specific benefits. And my colleague Lance Junker, who is our local interagency network coordinator, he's unavailable today, so I will be handling his portion as well on what his roles and responsibilities are. And then we have Stacy Teagarden here. She is from the Department of Industrial Relations, and she's going to cover the apprenticeship program keynote topic for today for apprenticeships. So we appreciate everyone joining us and all of our guest speakers in their partnership. With that, we'll move forward. The CalTAP program was actually designed and formed to connect veterans of all eras on their earned federal and state benefits. And we want to provide that continued support and assistance as those needs change over time. Because when you separate from the service, the needs and benefits you're looking for are much different than they are 5 years or 10 years down the road. And how we do that is provide this through our core curriculum, our 5 pathways, our core curriculum, education, employment, and entrepreneurship pathway. We do have a 5th pathway for service providers. For those of you that are interested in maybe serving veterans and working in that field, there's a pathway for that. This is what our California Veteran Resource Book looks like, the hard copy. My colleague Derek will be putting a link in the chat for you to access this digital copy. You can download that to your mobile device, or you can actually go to our website directly at the bottom of the page and you can download it there. You can access a hard copy of this at maybe your local county veteran service office, or you can request them to be sent to you via our website for our publications. This is what our website looks like, our homepage. You can see the CalTAP portal there that's highlighted where the laptop is. This is how you would access our CalTAP portal. If you click that link, it takes you here to see each one of our pathways. And briefly, I'm going to cover some of the core curriculum in your California benefits, which is highlighted here. You click that under Module 5 is the California specific benefits. But take a note of each one of these modules that are self-paced. You can actually gain some information from various topics that you may be interested in, like healthcare, claims and compensation, or understanding resiliency, and you can see them here. But for this purpose, we're going to cover your California benefits under Module 5. So you want to know what your California benefits are. Most popular, we have our college tuition fee waiver. This is a dependent benefit for veterans who have a service-connected disability rating from either 0% to 100%. And there's 4 plans available. If you go to our website, you can actually learn more about this, or we can ask or cover them in the Q&A if you have questions about the fee waiver. We also get a lot of questions about our veteran designation on your driver's license. How to have this applied. You would contact your county veteran service office, provide them information that you are an honorably discharged veteran, and that would take that letter to the DMV with your application for your driver's license. And there is no fee for this service. They waived the fee as of January 1 of this year. They were charging $5 for that benefit, but now it is free to veterans to have that designation put on your driver's license. Also, the motor vehicle registration fee waiver. This is for veterans who have a 100% service-connected disability from the VA with mobility or permanent and total. They can have their registration fees waived for their motor vehicle. They would also have to contact the County Veteran Service Office for their eligibility verification for that benefit. For the reduced fishing and hunting license, you would contact the wildlife.ca.gov website, which is the wildlife website, and apply online and request a reduced fishing and hunting license if you have a service-connected disability of 50% or greater. And the same with the no-cost state park pass. You would contact their website and apply for the Distinguished Veteran Pass, which would enable you to have no cost any of the state parks, which also requires a 50% service-connected disability rating as an eligibility. The disabled veteran property tax exemption and the business license exemptions, you would need to contact your local county entity where you pay your taxes or where your business is located and find out if you're eligible for an exemption. The eligibility is a 100% service-connected disability rating from the VA that is permanent in total for that exemption. Each one of the counties may have a specific amount that you're allotted for your exemption percentage-wise, so that's why we want you to contact that local entity where you pay your taxes for that benefit. Other divisions in CalVet would include veteran services where we work. We also have a home loans division, women veterans, and they provide advocacy and outreach specifically for women veterans. You can sign up on our website for the Women Veterans Division for their statewide roster and receive information that's related to you and your needs. If you have interest in minority and underrepresented veterans, they also have a division that provides advocacy and outreach specifically for that demographic. And they can provide, right now they have unnaturalized services for unnaturalized veterans to provide that naturalization services for citizenship. We also have 8 CalVet homes for long-term care throughout the state of California, and they provide various levels of care for our aging veterans, from residential units as well as skilled nursing facilities, geriatric care, as well as memory care units at each one of these care facilities. They're located throughout the state. You can check on our website and find out more about those informations if you or another family member may be interested in the care at one of our homes. We do have 3 state cemeteries throughout the state of California, and one is in Seaside, California, over by Monterey. The second one is up north in Igo, near Redding, and the third one is attached to our Yountville Veterans Home in the Napa Valley. This Napa Valley Yountville one also requires residency in the Yountville home to be interned in that cemetery. There is a 4th one currently under construction in Southern California, but we're not sure exactly when that one's going to be open for availability. So CalTAP wants to stay connected with you as those needs change over time. And how we would like to do that is provide that continued support by, if you could provide a non-DoD email to CalTAP at calvet.ca.gov. You can also visit our social media platforms, the QR codes that are listed there. Please note that this webinar is recorded, and we will provide a copy of this and upload it to our YouTube channel, which the QR code there is listed. And then you can attend other webinars like this and fill out a survey that's like the link that's on this page here. We do ask that you fill the survey out at the end. We do value that feedback so that we can provide that continued improvement on our webinars to provide the information that you are looking for. This is My Calvet. You can sign up for My Calvet on our homepage, provide that information, and we will send out a mailer to you, an email based on what needs and information and resources that you're looking for. And then you'll also receive a newsletter quarterly and a weekly advertisement for what webinars that we have for the month or the week. This is what our workshop announcement would look like, what you receive in your email, and you can actually register and click on the link there to access each one of those and sign up for those webinars. There's also more resources available for our programs and partners that we work with throughout our webinars. It's listed to the right of that page. The VA's website, everybody should be familiar with that. You can actually sign in now with the VA and actually manage your benefits directly through their website instead of actually going through the e-benefits portal. This is a much more streamlined way for you to view your benefits and actually manage them. You can access My Health eVet through there and make doctor's appointments and your prescription needs as well. So this is my contact information, my email, and the phone number that's in 800 there, that's our general calls number. We do pride ourselves in having a live person answer these phones. So if you don't receive somebody that answers the phone, please leave a message and somebody will get back to you if you have any questions about your benefits or resources that you're looking for. Now I'm going to go through the link coordinator, which is Lance Junker. He is the San Diego region link, and he provides advocacy and outreach locally to the folks there in the San Diego region. As you look here, this is what our link map looks like. Each one of these color-coded zones provide, this is actually listed from the FEMA map for emergencies, and each one of these regions is covered by a specific network coordinator. If you look down in the very bottom there, you see that orange area, the red area at the bottom, the green area at the bottom, sorry, can't see it, there's a thing there. That is Lance's region in the San Diego area. We have 8 other links that provide information and resources throughout the region. So if you reside in one of these other regions, you can contact the link via their email, which is listed there according to their email, and they will get back to you and provide any information on what you need. What they do is they provide outreach and service members, veterans and their families, and they make direct referrals and provide information to the service provider that they have contacts with. So if you're looking for information on VA healthcare or VA benefits, they know somebody directly in those units and can actually give you a warm handoff to somebody directly and provide assistance with that. They also provide assistance with local emergencies. So if there's fires or flooding or any kind of emergency evacuations in their region, they also man the booths for the FEMA or local assistance centers or emergency centers for any of the veterans that may need help with accessing their records or maybe pharmacy needs if they've lost their medications from the VA, things like that that they need if that's veteran related. They also provide advocacy and leadership to local communities so that they know what benefits and as they change over time with legislation. They connect you to your benefits via the employment and training and the EDD and America's Job Centers. And they also have access to your California veterans state benefits. So they have access and information from the county veteran service offices, as well as working for CalVet. They can now give you information and connect VA healthcare as clinics, VA vet centers, any of those needs related to healthcare through the VA, as well as your benefits. So this is Lance's contact information, his email there for the San Diego region, and you can actually access that map. I think my colleague Derek posted this map in the chat so that you can have access to it and actually see what the email for the link in your region is located. Okay, and with that being said, now I'm going to turn this over to our Stacy Teagarden, who is a representative of the Department of Industrial Relations, and she's going to go ahead and give you the presentation on what the apprenticeship programs are and how you would apply and what they can do for you. Thank you for joining us, Stacy.
Thank you, Kurt. Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us this morning. I hope I can provide some useful information today. Obviously, you can see there that it says Charles Richards. I am not Charlie. Charlie is out today, so I am filling in for him. But we have provided his contact information at the end of this as well, as he's our VA specialist. But today I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about apprenticeship opportunities in the state of California and how those programs operate and how you may be able to utilize your VA benefits for these programs. So do next slide. So in the state of California, we have a little over 91,000 registered apprentices with 36,000 participating employers and over 300 active educational institutions. We have about 8,000 apprentices graduate annually. Next slide, please. So traditionally apprenticeship programs have been building and construction occupations, firefighters, barber cosmetology, but in the recent past, we have begun expanding into some new industries that we would consider non-traditional apprenticeship programs, but they're still following that traditional model. So some of those new industries are going to be healthcare, information technology, advanced manufacturing, civil service. So as these opportunities become more, there's more opportunity and options available for people's interests and what they'd like to do for a career, once they've finished their military service. Next slide, please. So here are some of the employers that have been recently onboarded, within the different industries. And I'm sure if you take a look, you will recognize a lot of those employers. And there is a wide variety of occupations within those industries. And, you can, I will show you later how you can research and find those programs, and then also how you could reach out and contact your local Division of Apprenticeship Standards office if you needed a little bit more guidance. Next slide, please. So a lot of people are not familiar with the term apprenticeship as it pertains to, how it works compared to like an internship. So there's a couple of main components that we're looking for. And the first one, the biggest one, is going to be on-the-job training, specifically paid on-the-job training. And then that's going to be coupled with classroom instruction. However, that classroom instruction is going to be only specific to the occupation that you're going to school for, that you're getting your on-the-job training for. Next slide, please. So the classroom instruction is what we refer to as RSI, or related and supplemental instruction. And that instruction is going to give you a little training and theory in the background of the occupation that you're apprenticing in, and to kind of help you understand, how that occupation works, the things that you'll be doing in the field and why you would be doing them, and kind of give you that, I'm sorry, I can't think of the right word right now, that base level, that foundation of what you're what you're learning. And then in turn, you're going to take that and apply that in the field with that on-the-job training, and it's going to make you a very strong, person in that occupation. So being a state registered apprentice, there is no tuition involved. So depending on what sort of program you are participating in, you may go to a local community college. If it's one of our building and construction programs or firefighters, they have a proprietary training facility that you may attend. You may go take some classes with an adult education. Some other programs may have it set up where they have internal training that they utilize coupled with those other things. So there's a lot of different models for programs to get that instruction out. But that, again, that instruction will only pertain to the occupation that you're going to school for. And you will be notified when you're scheduled for class and what class you're going to take and where you're going to take it. You may, be required to pay for things such as appropriate work attire or tools or books. But again, you'll be working full time. So, you should have the funding to do that. And I believe even some of your VA benefits may help you cover that. That would be something you could speak to your VA rep to see what other kind of support they could offer you on those types of things. And then in some instances, individuals do get paid for class time. Sometimes it is paid by the employer. If it's a situation where you need to be off of work, say for a week or something to go to school, there's ways you can collect unemployment to make up for those missed wages for that time in school. Next slide, please. So the on-the-job training is going to be the biggest part of your training, and it's going to be paid. So the expectation is that you are going to be there at work and you're going to be ready to learn. Now, when we develop standards for a program, we create or develop with the program sponsor and committee what we call work processes. And really what those work processes are just a formal list of scheduled tasks that you need to complete so many hours in, or maybe be competent in a certain area before you can advance into the next step and eventually become qualified journey person or professional in that occupation. Now, when you're doing your on-the-job training, you are always going to have some sort of qualified supervision. So whether that be a journey person or a different professional within that occupation, there will always be someone there to assist you. Now, that doesn't mean that someone's going to be standing there over your shoulder, holding your hand every step of the way, but it does mean that there will be someone there to help and guide you if you have any issues. And generally, apprentices are assigned tasks that they feel that their supervisor or journey person thinks that they are able to complete on their own. So again, this is paid on-the-job training. And as you go through the program and you complete the specific hours that you need and complete your classroom instruction, you will get pay increases. Typically, they're about 6 months, but every program varies a little bit. And all of that information would be clearly outlined for you when you decide to take advantage of one of these programs and become a registered apprentice. And then you can collect VA benefits while working with apprenticeship programs. There are some requirements that need to be met, and not all apprenticeship programs are necessarily VA approved. They can be, but it's based on the program's preference and if they have that. And typically, if they are approved, they have someone on staff that can help you navigate that and make sure you get all the required paperwork you need submitted to the VA. Next slide, please. Excuse me. So when we're talking about apprenticeship in the state of California, we really like to talk about what benefits are available specifically to the apprentice and to the employers. So, we like to refer to apprenticeship programs as an earn while you learn. And as I stated before, that's because you're getting a majority of that training on the job while you're being paid. And that comes with regular pay increases. So you're not going to start at an entry-level wage and stay at that through the duration. As you progress through the program, your pay will increase as well. We talked about the formalized OJT training, being that there are going to be specific skills that you need to master and do so many hours in before you can advance and complete the program. And that will be supervised by a qualified individual. There will be formal instruction, which we talked about could be in that classroom setting, at a community college or at a proprietary training center, or in-house internal training. When you learn these skills, these are going to be skills that you will have for the rest of your life, and you can take those skills with you anywhere you go. So you will receive, certificate of completion from the state, perhaps one from the local community college, or if it's a building and construction program, you'll get your journeyman card. So there are skills that you can take with you wherever you decide to move on in life. And again, many of them you can receive your VA benefits for. And we also find that with employers, employees tend to be a little bit more loyal and stick with an employer. They have a better retention rate and increased productivity. And that's because I think individuals feel invested in, right, when they're being provided that formal training. And, it really helps the employer out too, because they can determine if that person's a good fit, and it's a benefit for the employers as well, as they can have a kind of a list of skilled workers there that they can pick from a pool, so to speak. And it gives them a flexible workforce. So if they need, people in one area, they know that they can work with those apprenticeship programs to fulfill those needs. And then the system of training has been proven. We typically see that individuals who go through an apprenticeship program either stick with that employer or that union until retirement. So it's very beneficial to all parties involved. Next slide, please. So here's some key points to remember. Military careers are just like apprenticeships. You begin with your basic knowledge, and over your career, you advance in education, skills, rank, and income. I think, like a lot of things you do in life, it's one of those things you get out of it what you put into it. As soon as you start your apprenticeship program, you will be earning an income. They will not register you in a program and then just start putting you to school. It has to be both. It's a partnership of that on-the-job training and that classroom instruction. Again, you will get those lifelong skills through the experience, and that's what employers are looking for. Again, you can take those with you anywhere you decide to go. Many individuals will go on to attend college or universities to get their professional certification or degrees. So, apprenticeship can be a good stepping stone, so to speak, to move on to a higher position, a higher paid, professional degree, things of that nature. Next slide, please. So you think, well, this sounds good. I want to learn a little bit more. How can we learn a little bit more? So now I'm going to walk you guys through how to navigate our DIR apprenticeship page, and that'll show you how you can find programs based on the county and the occupation that you're interested in. Next slide, please. Okay, so the first step would be to go to the Department of Industrial Relations website, or the DIR. And when you go to you'll see something similar here. I think we have new pictures up now, but it's still a very similar website. Next page, please. So you're going to want to choose that apprenticeship link there, circled in red. Next page, please. Okay, so what you're going to do when you get to our main division of apprenticeship page is you want to choose that become an apprentice. And I'll just give you guys a real quick little pro tip. If you're kind of exploring our website, anything in blue you can click on and it will redirect you and give you more information. Next slide, please. So once we click that become an apprentice, it's going to take us here to how to become an apprentice, and we're going to choose that find available apprenticeship programs. Next slide. So here is where we are going to plug in what county we're looking for and what occupations we're looking for. Now, if you're not sure what you want to do, you could put in the county and click search, and it would pull up all the occupations within that county. Maybe you're not opposed to relocating. You could simply click search right now, and it would pull up every single program that we have available to you in the state of California. Next slide, please. Okay, so here in this example, we've put in Sacramento and Surveyor, and we would click search. Next slide. So you'll see here what will happen when you put in a specific occupation and county is it will pull up this list and you will see the trade or occupation along with the committee. The committee is simply the program's name, and then that trade or occupation is what we want to look at. So you can click on the highlighted occupation, the blue highlighted occupation, and it will redirect you to program specific or occupation program specific information. Next slide, please. So here it's going to give you a little brief overview of the program. And I'll point out a couple things to you. You know, you will need to apply to these programs. Again, they will not bring you into the program until they have an employer for you. So, you know, when you're applying to one of these programs, you can always ask them what their wait list time is, or if there's anything you can do, excuse me, to help move that process along. So I always encourage everyone, you know, if you're currently going to school or working or, you know, whatever you have going on, you may want to continue with that and not, you know, abruptly quit your job or whatever you have going on at this time, because it might be a while till you get in, because again, they will not bring you in unless there's employment for you. So a couple things you can see here is that, you know, you need to be 18 to apply for this. They want you to have a valid license. And then down there, it says no physical requirements. So obviously you know, you don't need to be be able to lift any sort of amount of weight or anything like that. A lot of times if it's a job that requires physical performance, you may see something in there like, you know, you need to be able to physically perform the tasks of the work. And when you call and speak to them, you can always ask them, you know, what exactly that entails. And then the next line down there where it says exams and written test and oral exam. So written test is exactly what it sounds like. It means that in order to be a qualified applicant, they have some sort of written examination that you need to take. And then oral exam is just really basically it's going to be an interview, a job interview. And I like to point out to folks that you may walk into it and it be a room of, you know, a full committee of several people that you'll be interviewing with, not necessarily just one-on-one. And I like to point that out because I think if you're not prepared for it, that could be very nerve-wracking, where if you know, you're prepared for walking into a room of people, it'll help kind of ease some of that nervousness or anxiety, you know, that may be there all of a sudden. So the next thing we're really going to be looking for here is who we contact. And we will provide all the information on the website that the program has asked us to. So if you were interested in becoming a surveyor, you could give Miss Blackwell a call and ask her, you know, what the process is to apply and all those other things I talked about, like the wait list. If they are VA approved in your instances. So yeah, that's the big thing you want to look for is that contact information. Next slide, please. So down here at the bottom, you can see that we have veterans benefit approved. And this one says yes. You know, if that's not clearly identified or it says no, I would still double check with the program, you know, because sometimes this website isn't as up to date as we'd like it be, or maybe the program hasn't notified us that they have recently become approved for VA benefits. So it's always worth, you know, asking the question if they're VA approved. But if it says yes, you definitely know they are. Next slide, please. Okay, so I imagine many of you may have heard of a lot of these different support networks, but there's a list here for you. And I believe this recording will be made available, so you don't need to frantically take notes. But those are all great resources for veterans transitioning back into the civilian workforce. And yeah, I think just in general, be very helpful. Next slide. So here is Charlie's information. Like I said, Charlie is our VA specialist. He wasn't available to be here today, but you guys can always contact me as well if you have any, apprenticeship specific questions, or you can contact Charlie and myself both. I hope that I've provided some useful information for you guys here today, and maybe kind of help you make a decision on how to navigate your next step. So if there's any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them.
Thank you, Stacy. That was some really great information. Yeah, we will be moving on into the Q&A portion now. This slide has my contact, Derek's email, our links email for the San Diego region, as well as Stacy's contact information. And then Derek did post the PDF of these slides in the chat, as well as the link map, and also the direct link for the Department of Industrial Relations website in the chat as well. So thank you, Derek, for doing that. He's now going to read through some of the questions, and we can field some of those. I did see that he already responded to a lot of those questions. So looks like we only have one. Derek, how you doing?
Good. Thank you, Kirk and Stacy, for the presentation and information. Just kind of one question here, I guess, related to entry-level pay. Maybe not so clear on, what specifics or job or industry, but maybe just kind of an overview of how much to expect for an entry-level pay position.
Well, that's going to vary greatly depending on the industry and the county that you live in, right? Because, if you live in, say, up north in Redding, you may make considerably less than someone who lives in the San Diego area. But so it would really just depend on, like I said, the industry that you're entering into and the county. And that would be a question that I would definitely ask when you give them a call and ask about their application process, what their starting wages are.
Perfect. And I think some of the other questions were related to just kind of sharing links and contact information. So I would definitely encourage those to maybe just take a snapshot of this slide to gather anyone's contact information, and is also refer to that link map for the link in your region, because I think they're going to be a great resource as far as points of contact for assistance in your area. Specifically, Jeremy had a question about EDD points of contacts. And so I would encourage you to possibly reach out to one of those links, and they can definitely work with you for a veterans specific EDD point of contact to kind of direct you in the right position. Unless Stacy or Kirk, you have any other feedback regarding an EDD point of contact?
Yeah, I think through the America's Job Centers of California, the AJCC, if they are enrolled in unemployment benefits through EDD and they are a veteran, they can actually request an interview with a DVOP or a leaver, which is a disabled veteran outreach specialist, or a local veteran employment specialist that will assist them with any veteran related information through EDD. That's helping them with in getting into apprenticeship programs, as well as resume writing, interviewing skills, mock interviews, all of that in regards to the AJCC. So you can actually look for an AJCC locally in your region where you live. And then you can also contact the link. They may have access to those levers or DVOPs locally where you reside as well, and maybe you can call them directly. So that's a good resource, is the link.
And another question that came in, just kind of an overall recap of if you find a apprenticeship program that you like or you're interested in, just kind of what the steps are as far as contacting them. Is it just a direct outreach, or is there like a referral type of program to reach out to that person, or just kind of maybe just a direct point of contact for them?
Yeah, so I would just contact the phone number listed on our website for that specific program, and then ask them all those questions, because they all have a little different model. But yeah, typically you're just going to reach out to them and you're going to ask them what their application process is and just take it from there.
Great.
They'll be happy to guide you. And trust me, every single apprenticeship program is they think they're the best out there and they love to talk about themselves. So if you give them a call, they'll be happy to speak with you.
Perfect. And then one more that came in, just kind of, maybe what the placement model is for veterans using their benefits in these apprenticeship programs, and maybe a possible kind of expedited or guaranteed spot for any type of program based on their veteran status or veterans preference, I should say, in relation to these programs.
Yeah, that's another question you would want to ask when you called them, is if they give any veterans preference. I know some of the program, I'm a building and construction specialist myself. So many of the programs I work with, if they're doing an exam or an interview, they'll give vets a couple extra ranking points when they come in. Some of them may have an agreement with helmets to hard hats that can help bump you up or give you kind of a priority direct entry into them. If it's with the state, because we are starting to have some state apprenticeships, the state gives a few extra points on your ranking for being a veteran. So again, it would just be, an individual program preference on how they rank vets and what preferences they give them. So it would definitely be something you would want to ask when you called and inquired about the application process.
Just a follow up, maybe, Stacy, on helmets to hard hats and exactly what their organization is and kind of how they serve apprenticeship programs and veterans, possibly.
Helmets to hard hats is what's the right term I'm looking here for, Kirk? A transition organization, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think they provide resources and that connection between veterans and those construction jobs that are they really give you that inside track on apprenticeships directly for construction trades, specifically electricians, carpentry, iron workers, pipe fitters, those kind of commercial grade construction trades. I know that they really focus on those, so they're that direct link. They're like a
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, right? It's a direct link, and they've already worked out some sort of a memorandum of understanding with that apprenticeship program that gives vets some priority or some direct entry. So you can always reach out to them. They have reps as well all over the state to help. I do see them often when I go to like VA resource fairs and stuff like that. So it would just be you could call and ask who your representative for the area, and they can let you know if there's any agreements with those local union apprenticeship programs.
Thank you.
Drop their information into the chat, or possibly just a simple Google search will lead you in the right direction as far as how to contact somebody directly.
Yeah, and always I point out it's helmets, the number 2, hard hats. So not TO. So that might have to
all right, noted for sure. I like it. Perfect.
I like, I can add, when you go to the DIR website and you actually search for these apprenticeship programs, if you don't see any of the programs that you may be interested in, reach out to Stacy or Charles. They're the experts. They can actually, assist you, or maybe they know somebody that maybe not listed there, or, kind of navigate you that way to somebody that is available in apprenticeship like that. I saw one was the transportation field or the aviation field. So there's other opportunities that may be available just because it's not listed on that website. So contact.
Right. And to piggyback on that, some programs like some of our civil service ones, or like PG&E, you may need to be an incumbent worker for an amount of time before you're eligible to become an apprentice. So if there was something specific that you knew how to program and you didn't see it on our website, we could kind of help give you a little bit of guidance on what your first steps would be if it's that incumbent worker situation.
That's great. I had a real quick question. I know that you were very astute with the veterans reference on the programs that are veteran friendly. Is there any kind of, does it depend upon the program that they're actually enrolled in for receiving their GI Bill benefits in addition to a salary or wage. How does that work with different programs in using your GI benefits for your education purpose, as well as earning a wage? Does it interfere with those?
It's my understanding that it does not, specifically in the building and construction industry. It doesn't take away from their wage. And I don't see why it would, unless there was some sort of agreement in place with an employer, like a workforce development board or something where it was subsidizing wages. But as far as I know, it does not affect their wages, and it's it's on top of their wages when they get that benefit.
Great. Thank you very much for clarifying that.
I think that answered Jeremy's question in relation to the transportation or aviation. If maybe Kirk or Stacy just wanted to lay eyes on those questions again in the Q&A, and maybe just kind of provide your insight on any of our remaining questions.
I could look, Jeremy, if you want to send me an email, I can, and let me know what area you're looking in. I can see, I feel like we were starting one aviation program down there in Southern California, but I'd have to double check because I'm up here in Sacramento. And then for hybrid apprenticeship programs, I know, Angel, that I think Bitwise, which is a informational technology apprenticeship program, is doing some of their stuff where you can work and go to school online. But typically these are going to be jobs, where you need to be in the field working with someone getting your training. But then again, if it's like IT or something like that, it may be something you could do from home, or, but most of them you're going to have to be in the field. They're going to be, career, hands-on careers.
Well, I think, yeah, go ahead, Kirk.
Oh, I was going to just say the same. Go ahead, Derek. You're handling the questions there. They're coming in a little bit sporadically here, so.
Yeah. I think just to clarify, the company involved with this program again.
I'm not sure I'm clear on what the question is.
Can you put that company that's involved with this program again?
The IT one? Is that what you're talking about?
Possibly.
Okay, well, we'll put that in. It's Bitwise.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he was talking about helmets, 2 hard hats, possibly.
Oh, helmets, 2 hard hats. The wines.
Well, maybe just while we wait for clarification, if Kirk, you just kind of wanted to wrap us up.
Yeah, thank you everyone for your questions. If we do not get your question answered, please, we do want to be, forthcoming and provide as much information and answers to your questions as possible. We do have a time limit, as we're running towards the end of this, so I want to provide some more information to you. Please take note of the link map that he put in the chat. The PowerPoint PDF is also in there, and we will be posting this on our YouTube channel as soon as we have our communications department upload this into that chat. So you'll have access to this recording at a future date for further reference, okay? With that being said, I would like to move forward and provide some information on upcoming webinars. Tomorrow we have one about our statewide webinar on accessing California disability assistance. If you're interested in that, you can actually register for that. I think you should have received an email from our workshops. You can go there, or you can actually go to our landing page now. We used to have an Eventbrite page, but we changed. So I'll have to find our CalTAP landing page for our upcoming webinars. The same on the 25th, we have a California Career Forum, And then on the 26th, there's another webinar for Day of the Deployed. So if you want to find out more information that you can come to our constant contact or sign up for My Calvet, and you'll actually get an email for those upcoming workshops. Our survey, like I mentioned before, we do value your feedback. We take that information seriously and utilize that to continuously improve these webinars and our in-person events. So please don't think that this is just a silly thing, oh, a survey, and just, move on from it. But we want to make sure that we're providing you guys with the necessary information and resources that's valid to what you're looking for. So please, put your comments in there, what you're looking for. Was this valuable to you? We do value that feedback. So please take the time, click on that QR code or that link, and take a few minutes to fill out that survey. And we want to thank you all for your service. This again has our social media links available, our 800 number there. And there's also the crisis line if you or somebody that may be in need of that service as well. So be sure to reach out to them if they're in need of that. We have our Calvet website there, as well as our CalTAP email that's located there. If you have any questions, you can email the CalTAP portal, the box, and we will have a training coordinator respond back to your questions as well if you're not comfortable making the phone call. At this time, I want to thank Stacy for her participation and time in providing this valuable information on apprenticeship programs. I personally think it's a field that's highly underutilized, I think, and overlooked, especially maybe transitioning out of the service or maybe attending school at the community college level or whatever that is available to veterans to use their GI benefits and get into a really good field. So if you have questions, Stacy's available, or Charles, myself or Derek will be obviously be able to assist you as well. If we don't know, we can find somebody to give you that information. So we look forward to seeing you guys again on our future webinars. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Yeah. And with that, I'll be saying farewell.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Derek, for a great job in the Q&A and running the back end. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to say, Kirk, I know when folks get on these webinars, they feel like they really only have a short amount of opportunity to ask their questions, because sometimes it can be tough to connect with somebody. Yeah. But I just want everyone to know that we're here for you. Please feel free to use our email addresses, and maybe that'll allow us even more time to address your question with some specifics and everything like that. So, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Or I know sometimes you can just kind of scramble typing in all your questions, and but just feel free to contact us in the future, and we'll take all the time that's needed to address your questions as well. So just wanted to put that out there as well. So thanks again.
Yeah,
good point. Thanks, Derek.
That's a good point, Derek. Thank you. Yeah, and with that, it gives us a little bit more time to maybe do a little bit more research in depth and provide a little bit more resources that you need directly to you. So, which is what we do. So, good point. All right, everyone. With that, we've answered most of the questions. I think there's some general ones up there, but we'll leave those open. So, thank you all for joining us again. Thank you for your service. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Goodbye, Stacy. Hope to see you again. And thank you again. Goodbye, everyone.